Hey guys, it's me, Brian. I had a free weekend this weekend, so I'm gonna be able to uh, start doing a lot more reading and hopefully uploading over the next couple of days. I haven't had a free weekend in a while, and I was actually able to sit down and finish a trade, so I thought I would do a review for y'all. This is Savage Wolverine Volume 1. This is by Frank Cho, who wrote and did the art for this story. Um, let's see, make sure to give everybody credit. Writer and artist is Frank Cho. Color artist is Jason Keith, and letterer is VC's Corey Petit. I hope I'm saying that right. This is really the first Marvel thing that I have read pretty much in a long time. And let me just set this down real quick because there's a backstory to that. And it has nothing to do with the political stuff. I could care less about that, if I'm being honest. But what it is growing up in the early 90s, my major influence into the comic industry, universe, whatever you want to call it, was the 90s X-Men cartoon, which is, I'm sure, the same for pretty much everybody my age. So that cartoon had a huge influence on my reading, and whenever my mom would go to the local Piggly Wiggly to do some grocery shopping, they would always be one or two Spider-Man comic books on the book rack, and I would sit down there, and read them while she shopped. Well, sadly, I can't remember none of the issues I've read, but the only other major source of comic influence for me at that time was the Batman cartoon. The only problem with that is there wasn't really any DC comics on the book stand. It was normally just Spider-Man. I don't know, I guess that must have been a good seller for my area at the time. And I can't blame them for not wanting to stock anything that wasn't going to make them money. So, since it was a grocery store and not an actual comic book retailer. Anyway, as I got older and got back into comics here a couple years ago, I had come across an actual comic shop not too far away from me in Panama City, and I decided to pick up a couple of DC comics just to try something new, and I found out that I liked the characters and the universe more than the Marvel universe. Not saying the Marvel universe is anything bad, but to me, I find the characters more adult. And if you think differently, that's okay. These are just solely my opinions. You gotta take these things with a grain of salt, It's just how I feel, I guess. Only being able to see Batman on TV and not have access to anything. It kind of makes you want to read more of the stuff that you couldn't get a hold of. That and Image, some more of the independent books. So I kind of put Marvel on the back shelf, on the back burner. So yeah, with that out of the way, this is one of the few Marvel titles that I have read, especially here recently, and I have to say that this book has me excited to read more Marvel. I had a blast with this book. It kind of surprised me with, I mean, even though it is called Savage Wolverine, it surprised me how gory this book is. It's not gruesome, but it is violent. With this page here, I hope y'all can see that without too much glare. Wolverine attacks these group of indigenous tribesmen and ends up decapitating one of them and cutting limbs off, and just, it's the way that, you know, people want to see Wolverine, and just him unleashing, you know, and going crazy, the berserker, you know. So as a Wolverine fan, that was awesome to see. It just caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting that type of imagery from the new Marvel, the Marvel Now stuff. I think this is 2014, 2015. So and that kind of shocked me that Marvel was putting that kind of imagery in their books. But as a fan of Wolverine, as an older fan, I should say, I enjoyed it. And Frank Cho, his writing and his art is just top notch. I had a blast reading this. I actually sat down and for the most part read this in one sitting. I took a day or two to read the last couple of issues, just because, you know, life situations. But I read a good chunk, just sitting down, you know, the first time to read it, and that should be a testament to how good this book is, because normally it takes me a while to get through a trade just out of boredom. But to see, you know, Shauna the She-Devil, which is somebody that I haven't never read, or I've heard of her, but to actually get to see the character in action and get to know about her, I enjoyed that aspect. And to see, you know, like the Hulk and Amadeus Cho, you know, appear in this book was something I wasn't expecting. For the $4.99 that I paid for it, I totally got my money's worth. It retails for $20, and it's one of those things to where if I had to pay retail, I'm not 100% sure that I would have picked this up, because I normally go for, you know, the DC stuff, Constantine, Flash, you know, stuff like that, Green Lantern, mostly. But Um, I'm actually excited to dive back into Marvel. Thanks to Frank Cho. Let's see. Show you a little bit more art while I'm at it. While I try not to give nothing away. Let's see. There's a splash page in here somewhere that I thought was really awesome. Here it is. Just the detail. I hope you can see the detail in that. Sorry for the glare. But Frank Cho's work is just awesome. I will say this though, that I would say pick it up if you can find it for less than retail. It is a really fun book, and I'm glad I was able to find volume 3 when I found volume 1. So all I gotta do is pick up volume 2 now. If I can find it, may have to go on eBay. But if you haven't, go watch Sleepy Reader's new videos. He's doing something like my setup here, which is totally awesome. It just makes it easier for me to be able to show the books instead of having to Google the pictures. Because I'm not sure about copyright issues anymore on YouTube, since YouTube's been cracking down on that here lately. But anyway, guys, I have rambled on for too long, and I will see y'all hopefully soon in the not too distant future. So with that, guys, I will talk at you later. Love y'all. God bless.